A discussion is happening among local government IT departments about the degree to which contracted vendors should reduce their prices. Montgomery County, Maryland's CIO Steve Emanuel says vendors must adjust to government's new fiscal realities.
Government is no longer in the same position they were before relative to signing the kind of maintenance costs and contracts that we had. And many of the entities that we work with are used to that level of profitability, and in some cases have even had the need or the obligation to put increased maintenance costs on an annual basis. Well, given the fiscal crisis we have today, we just don't have that luxury anymore, and some of our vendors and suppliers are really going to have to think about what their maintenance structures are, especially to government agencies, because quite frankly we just can't afford it.
He warns that inflexible vendors could lose government business.
In some cases it's going to drive us to other products, in some cases it's going to drive us to other service providers, and in some cases it's just going to make us take the risks that we really don't want to take, when in some cases there's really not a whole lot of added cost to our providers.
Emanuel remarked that companies should not expect the high fees of the past to return anytime soon.
They need to look, they need to reach deep, and they need to be honest with what profits they've had in the past. Now's the time. We need to really help get those profits back in our pockets for the time being until we can afford to go back to a different normal, which we'll evaluate more and more as we go forward.
He dismissed concerns that demanding vendors to reduce their prices would drive those vendors away.
Those vendors aren't going to go away, because when we make a decision that we are going to have to stop paying some type of maintenance, or we have to avoidance simply because we got a non-response from our vendor community, that's not a good business decision long term, because if we make that decision as a government agency, it's a public opinion. Guess what happens with that public opinion? It resonates through my partners. It resonates through my jurisdictional partners. It resonates through other agencies. That's not a good choice for business.
Emanuel spoke to GTTV at his office in Montgomery County during a break from a closed-door session with other local government IT professionals. Emanuel hosted the event in conjunction with the Center for Digital Government's Digital Communities program. Time will show whether governments or vendors bear the bulk of the sacrifice. For GTTV, I'm Andy Opsahl.